Oh, oh man.
I want some rest. Are we having fun yet?
All right, so we're doing this again because these are a lot of good questions. So I got a question from GP in which he asked, "Is this Greg Popovich? You're Greg Popovich, aren't you? How long do you see the rebuild lasting?" So we're definitely going to talk about that. Before we do, really quick, thank you guys so much for selling out the shirts. Thank you so much. It's gonna come. They're coming back. I'll send out all of these that were sold at the end of this week. And then we're gonna get some more of the goats and some more of the bats, okay? And then eventually I'll have 15 years. It's gonna be a bunch of designs on here, by the way. Like I have like 14 being worked on. I have 19 ready and 14 in total. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, thank you guys so much. And yeah, I didn't want to do merch and just be like, oh, hey, here's my logo on a shirt. Like, go support. No, I wanted it to actually be legit. I want it to be a legit shop that you guys actually want. And honestly, I want all of them. I'm wearing one. Anyways, that's besides the point. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this. How long do you see the rebuild lasting? Just answer it right now, okay? I'm sure lots of people comment before they even watch the video. Just answer it, okay? Because this is completely just opinionate. This is just straight up my opinion, all right? Do not take it, I don't know. Don't take it too serious. It's no objectivity here. This is straight up subjective. What do I think? I think it'll last 2 years. I think it'll last 2 years. I think it depends on kind of what you mean. When I say that the rebuild is going to end, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to be the best team. It just means that I think all of our pieces are going to be set in stone. I think all the pieces will be ready and we'll have a clearer picture of the future in which we don't necessarily have to tank anymore. We don't have to get a phenomenal pick in order to be successful. Now, if you're asking when we're going to be a playoff team, I think maybe 3 seasons. Like, I believe in the Spurs a lot, okay? The developmental team, what they've shown me previously, I have no reason to believe this is going to last forever, okay? I have no reason to believe this is going to last 15 years, okay? I have no reason to believe that. So as far as playoff contender, I think 3 years maybe, and then we're talking championship maybe sometime close after that. But I do not think that this is going to last super long. Now, the reason being, one of the reasons, okay, and you guys are going to hate me, all right? I talk about this all the time because people say, hey, he hasn't proven anything. Why are you so high on him? I think Josh Primo, I truly do believe this. I think Josh Primo in this upcoming season and the season after is going to show so much. I think that we're all going to sit back and say, oh yeah, he's that guy. Okay, he's him. So I have a lot of faith in him as well and his development, the type of player he is. There's not much to his game that I sit back and I worry about. Like, just honestly, it's not much there that I worry about. Decent facilitator, high basketball IQ, maturity levels out the roof, and he's like a child, okay? He's like 10 years old. Shooting form is great, can create his own shot at will, plays off screens exceptionally well, communicates with his teammates well. Defense is really good. Like, defense is very good that people don't really talk about. He kind of reminds me of Derek White defensively, honestly. Just very crafty, savvy defender. But yeah, everything is definitely there. So I think that he's going to be legit. Secondly, I really do believe in Malachi Branham. We were not supposed to get Malachi Branham, honestly. I thought that Cleveland might have taken him, and we did like a mock draft of this before. I thought Cleveland might have took him at like 14, and that would have been a good pick for them as well. I just was not expecting him to land all the way to San Antonio. But with that being said, that's an absolute steal, okay? He can also shoot at will, and he's one of those players that you can just hand it to him ISO, and Pop is going to push his buttons, and he needs his buttons pushed. He said this like plenty of times, okay? When you push his buttons, he goes to another level, and he's going to be surrounded around guys like that. Popovich, Josh Primo, but not only that, Sohan talks a lot, okay? He communicates very well, and he talks a lot. That's another player that I think he can kind of be the Draymond Green of the group, almost like the Spurs version of that. So I know a lot of people say Dennis Rodman, but there's no Dennis Rodman in this game, really. It's just the hair that people say that about. But that's besides the point. Yeah, I think that he can be kind of that glue guy. I think Josh Primo can be that crazy scorer. And Malachi is also a guy that's kind of shown that he has some clutch ability, but not only that, he can create his own shot at will. So I think that they'll be able to start figuring out things pretty soon. Now, the reason why I gave the Spurs 2 years, obviously, because this upcoming season, we're going to try to get Victor Wembanyama. If not, you know, we'll also have another like great player. Hopefully we get a top 5 pick and we'll have another great player, right? But not only that, I think the secret weapon here is Blake Wesley. Like that's another thing that I think that's going to be cooking in the oven in the back in a couple years, because that's what he's going to need. That's me personally. That's what I think he's going to need. I think he's going to need a couple years going from the G League, coming back and forth from the Spurs to the G League, so he can get those reps, become more of a poised point guard, and maybe we can even eventually move Josh Primo down if he becomes who we expect him to be. Because right now his athleticism is through the roof, but he has to work on limiting turnovers. He has to work on taking better shots, and that's just going to come. But the good thing about his game right now is that he can also create his shot at will. His first step is absolutely incredible. But yeah, I truly do believe in this group going forward. And obviously, if you're going to try to create a championship caliber team, a playoff caliber team, there's going to be pieces along the way, okay? It won't just be these guys. It's going to be also people that we get in free agency. But before the Spurs can even look at that, I think it's going to be a couple years, just a couple seasons, and the Spurs are going to be back on their feet, and we're going to have a clearer picture of what this team is. But truly, I do truly believe this. It's going to start with Josh Primo. It's going to start with him because he is legit. People aren't seeing it right now, but I guarantee it. You're going to go back to this video. You're going to go back to previous videos I've done, and you're going to be like, dude, you're a genius. And it's like, no, I'm not. It's just there. It's right in our face. But if you just focus on statistics alone, you're not going to see it. But if you've been paying attention to the G League, if you've been paying attention to the small things, if you've been paying attention to him in situational basketball, especially this last season, you'll see the specialness there. It is something there, and he is really good. But it'll start with Josh, and then I think in this upcoming draft, it's going to be like, okay, we're just about there. We're pretty close. And then another season to go by, and I think Blake Wesley will fully have come into his own. And now the San Antonio Spurs are back. That's my thought. That's how I feel about it. You guys, let me know what you think. How long do you think it'll be? Do you think it's going to be a couple seasons? Do you think it's going to be 3, 4? I mean, some teams, it takes a decade to do a rebuild because they just screw up their draft so often. But I don't really see that with the Spurs. I think we'll be fine. But anyways, I'll get with you guys later, man. If you want to support the channel, only $2 per month. Patreon and YouTube links below. But yeah, until next time, deuces.